The greatest legacy one can pass on to one's children and grandchildren is not money or other material things accumulated in one's life, but rather a legacy of character and faith. God has given us two hands, one to receive with and the other to give with. Courage is contagious. When a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are often stiffened. Comfort and prosperity have never enriched the world as much as adversity has. The will of God will not take us where the grace of God cannot sustain us. God proved His love on the cross. When Christ hung and bled, and died, it was God saying to the world, "I love you." The Bible is not an option, it's a necessity. God's angels often protect His servants from potential enemies. The only time my prayers are never answered is on the golf course. The cross shows us the seriousness of our sin, but it also shows us the immeasurable love of God. God has given us two ears, one to hear His word and the other to hear others' needs. Prayer is simply a two-way conversation between you and God. Suffering is part of the human condition, and it comes to us all. The key is how we react to it, either turning away from God in anger and bitterness or growing closer to Him in trust and confidence. Tears shed for self are tears of weakness, but tears shed for others are a sign of strength. Mountaintops are for views and inspiration, but the fruit is grown in the valleys. God has given us many resources, but prayer is the greatest of them all. God does not want us to hold on to our past. He wants us to let go, move forward, and embrace the future He has for us. The word romance, according to the dictionary, means excitement, adventure, and something extremely real. Romance should last a lifetime. True happiness comes not by our own efforts but by faith in God's promises. The secret of peace and happiness is to trust and obey God in all things. The most eloquent prayer is the prayer through hands that heal and bless. The Christian life is not a constant high. I have my moments of deep discouragement. I have to go to God in prayer with tears in my eyes and say, "Oh God, forgive me, or help me." The framers of our Constitution meant we were to have freedom of religion, not freedom from religion. The legacy we leave is not just in our possessions, but in the quality of our lives. God never takes away something from your life without replacing it with something better. There is nothing wrong with men possessing riches. The wrong comes when riches possess men. God is in control, and therefore in everything I can give thanks, not because of the situation but because of the one who directs and rules over it. The greatest form of praise is the sound of consecrated feet seeking out the lost and helpless. The will of God will not take us where the grace of God cannot sustain us. Temptation comes when you least expect it. It comes to the strongest as well as the weakest among us. God is more interested in your future and your relationships than you are. Being a Christian is more than just an instantaneous conversion. It is a daily process whereby you grow to be more and more like Christ. The cross tells us that God understands our sin and our suffering, for He took them upon Himself in the person of Jesus Christ. My home is in heaven. I'm just traveling through this world. Don't let failure or disappointment hold you down. It's just a temporary setback, not a permanent condition. Christ is calling you to leave the busy highways of life and enter the narrow gate which leads to eternal life. A real Christian is a person who can give his pet parrot to the town gossip. God's mercy and grace give me hope, for myself, and for our world. God has given us two hands, one to receive with and the other to give with. Believers, look up, take courage. The angels are nearer than you think. Only those who want everything done for them are bored. Hot heads and cold hearts never solved anything. Christ not only died for all, He died for each. God's angels often protect His servants from potential enemies. The greatest form of praise is the sound of consecrated feet seeking out the lost and helpless. God has given us two hands, one to receive with and the other to give with. God does not want us to hold on to our past. He wants us to let go, move forward, and embrace the future He has for us. God has given us many resources, but prayer is the greatest of them all.